Hello again. I'm going to have another quick little pottery making video. I'm going to show you how you can easily cut out a stamper, and I'll show another video of how I use stampers, but this video also helps you when you're cutting out ornaments, and ornaments can be in any shape. I have already rolled out my clay. And you can do this easily. If you don't have a slab roller, you can use 2 dowels and a rolling pin and roll the clay for the thickness of the dowel. You probably want to use like less than 1/4 of an inch, a 1/4 of an inch or less, depending upon how thick you want your ornament to be. So I've already rolled out this slab of clay, and then I've cut off a piece of saran wrap. Saran wrap is a very thin plastic wrap. And I use this because I like to make the edges of my ornaments or my cutouts more of a rounded edge, not a sharp edge. So you can go to a craft store, hobby craft store, Hobby Lobby, and get all kinds of cookie cutters in the baking section. And these happen to be two-sided. I have the ruffled edge, as you can see, and a straight edge. So I'm going to cut out several of the smaller rounds, straight rounds, to make my little pressers. And all I do is put the saran wrap on top of the clay and then evenly press with my hands. So there you have the first impression. And here is the next one. And the little itty bitty one. Peel off the saran wrap. Sometimes the piece comes up with the saran wrap. And then you have these nice clean shapes, and I could have cut out a whole lot more, but just for this demonstration I want to show you how I do these pressers. I am working on top of some canvas, and that prevents the clay from sticking to it. Now you'll see that there's little crumbs around the edges right here. Can you see that? So I'll take my sponge and I'll just lightly, it's a damp sponge, and I'll just lightly go around and get that. Now can you see that it's a nice rounded edge here? And here is the other side where it's more flat. So I'm going to do that to all 3 of these. I'm just going to go around the edge and get the crumbs and any bumps off, and then flip them over. So this is the back side. This is the front side, rounded, and then you have the back side. It's not. All right. So now I'm going to add handles, little handles on here. And then these pieces are going to be bisque fired. That's the first firing in the kiln. Drives out all the water. I'm going to take my scratch tool, looks like a little chicken foot, and scratch a little spot in each center, so you can see over here. And then with my extra clay, I'm going to roll some little balls ball, and I'm going to pounce it on the canvas to flatten out one side. See how I have it flattened? It's sort of like a knob. And then I'm going to scratch the flat side of the knob, and with a little bit of water, I'm going to get it wet, and then I'm going to press it onto my disc. Now this will become the handle. And then you can take another wooden tool that has a rounded side to it, or a flat, you can use a popsicle stick even. They have rounded sides. And I'm going to make sure that I press this down securely. That becomes the knob or the handle for my presser. So, like that. And you can make the knob as fancy as you want. The whole purpose of it is so that when this is fired, you have something that you can press onto clay to make it have a shape. And I, like I said, I will show you that technique in another video, and we're going to do some little dishes. So let me go ahead and finish finish these others. Now because these are smaller, they don't need big knobs like the one I just showed you. So just a smaller ball of clay. Just roll it in your hands, real easy. Make sure your hands are dry. Pounce it, pounce it on the canvas to make a flat side. Give it a little scratch. Put it in some water. And what that does is the clay is the same wetness consistency, so when you add the water to it, it creates its own slip. And slip is like a liquid clay, acts like a glue, and it helps hold things together. So there I have my second one. And finally, the last little one. And pressing it on. It doesn't matter how fancy if you want to make it like I have a little flat top or whatever. The whole purpose is to make it like a handle so that you can use it to press into clay. And so we're going to call this video Pressers Part 1. And then I have to bisque fire these, and then I can use them, and I will show how I can use them in Pressers Part 2. Have a great day.